Hello, YouTube. Prof Sales coming at you with a video. How is everybody doing today? Well, I hope. So let's get into the show. This is your daily profit talk. See how we're looking here. It is October 20th, 2016, and daily profit talk. There I am. Hope everybody is doing well. Doing well here. And it's been probably, oh wow, it's been almost a week since we've had a daily show just because of the schedule and so on. So I haven't got a chance to talk to you guys. I did have a couple shows yesterday, Reagan's show that I was on, and then had See the Rockstar Flipper on last night, and those videos are up if you guys want to watch those. So they're pretty cool. It's a pretty cool interview. Some interesting stuff came out of them for sure. Let me pull this up on my iPad where it'll be a little easier to see. There we go. So I did this last night. I couldn't figure it out today. So we got a few people in the room already. I'm going to shout out. Glenn is here. Swamp Picker. Midwest MSC, what's up? Fran is here. Minnesota Vegan Girl. And Marcos so far are in the chat room. Probably others as well. So hope you guys are doing great. It is, wow, I mean, no complaints here. It is a bright, sunny day, as it has been for days. That's always nice, right? And, you know, there's lots to talk about today and going on in the reselling world. All right, a couple other people joined in, Geneva and Yadira. What is going on, guys? And Paul Rhodes. All right, so how's everybody's business doing? How are you doing personally? Well, I hope. It's what are we in? Let's see, October 20th. So we're 2/3 of the way through the month. So how are you doing towards your goals for the month? Are you there yet? Are you close? Are you 2/3 of the way there? Are you half the way there? Are you 3/4? You're all the way there? So let us know that in the comments too. That'll be cool. I actually have been. This has been a great month. I mean, golly. I'm telling you guys, I can't keep up with it. We actually almost have in as much volume as we had all of last month. So we're looking at a pretty record month here. We already are like, well, I'll tell you, I'll show you results here in a moment. I'm not gonna steal my own thunder. I think Karen's back there somewhere too, so I'm sure she'll come say hello at some point. But yeah, it's been a great month, guys. I mean, man, are we selling some jeans? You know, I mean, I don't know. Like the weather here is not even that cool yet. It's still getting up to like 80 during the day, and I'm sure other parts of the country are too. So I don't even feel like the cold weather's hit. So I'm hoping just like when we hit November and December and it really starts to drop off, people are just going to think, man, I got to get pants. I got to buy some jeans. Let's see who else is here in the chat. Just kind of shout out a few people and some comments and so on. Brad said he got some great tips on measuring pants last night. That's cool. Let's see, thinking about selling jeans. That's cool. How did you get your pictures from your iPhone to iPad, the cloud? Paul asked. That's a great question, Paul. And actually what we do is we drop them using the photo app that comes with your iPhone and your iPad. So Karen will take the pictures on her phone usually, and she will drop them to my iPad and phone because you do that photo sharing app. It's the one that looks like, let me see if I can show it to you. If I can show you what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But it's that one right there. It says photos. So you can go into that, and there's an option in there that allows you to share. Actually, you can create an album. You can go in and share with another iOS user. And that's how we get them there. We just drop them to both. I use it on both because I look at my phone for anything that I need to see about the item while I'm listing on my iPad, and when I do list, I actually pull the photos from the iPad photos. So it actually sends to both when you drop, so you can just go in. The only bad part about it is I find that you have to go in and touch each picture and let it kind of load for sure for a second or two. You'll see it spin for a couple seconds and it'll go to the next one. Spin for a couple seconds. That part's a little annoying, and sometimes it doesn't do it on every picture. But I recommend you do that, because with mine, if I don't do that and then I go into eBay and try to list, it won't let me list those photos. It'll act like it lists them, but then it won't actually pull them in. I don't know why. I have to go in and kind of like solidify the share. I don't know. Maybe somebody has some insight in that. I'm not sure why it does that. So Jennifer says, already passed last month and we still have a week left. Awesome. Good for you, Jennifer. Geneva says, I have the 6S. Is there a difference photo quality for 6 Plus? I don't think so, Geneva. I could be wrong on that, but I think the camera is pretty similar. There's Karin. Hello. Oh, wrong shoulder.
Turn on the light. Does that make a difference?
No, it's great. No, the light's fine.
Hi, everybody.
There's Karin. She's getting ready to take some photos. Yeah, I guess that'll work. That doesn't work. She does what she wants. Kings asked, do you edit your photos? Of course. And basically all we do is around with the settings, the color and so on, the brightness, but not very much. We've kind of got it down to a science. We know she's better at it than me because she's been doing more of them. She knows where to put the phone at to get, and how to set the lights to get kind of the right shot. So we don't have to do much editing at all. Let's see. Eric says Android is great, but you need to take a single pic at a time. Yeah, that's not very efficient for clothing where you have to take multiple photos. That would drive me nuts. So anyway, all right. So guys, couple quick things, housekeeping, of course. 27 viewers right now. Awesome turnout, guys. I really appreciate it. And you know what to do if you're liking this show. Smash the like button down below, in the words of Steve Rakin. I do appreciate it. Lets me know I'm doing a good job, and lets YouTube know as well if you're enjoying the content. And then if you're watching this later, also, and you like the content, please hit the like button and leave me a comment if you're watching this later, and let me know how we're doing so far. All right, so what else is going on? Spreadsheet update. I've had a lot of people, I don't know why it seems so, hold on a second. It's like this cushion has got me off angle. There we go. It's like I'm still a little to the side. I don't know what's going on here. Got something weird with this.
You're off kilter.
I'm off kilter. A lot of people have been asking me about the spreadsheet, and I definitely want to make one available to everyone. I actually spent about an hour today going in and making just a template of one, because obviously I'm not going to send you one with all my data in it. That doesn't make any sense. And I've tried to I've taken a couple things out of it. And if people want those things back in, I'm okay with adding them back in. But I feel like a couple of the things are overkill and things that maybe aren't specific to me and what I use them for. But basically, this spreadsheet will allow you to go in, put in everything you source, where you source it from, so you can create, some reporting on that if you want. But if not, it's just there and sits there, and you can use it for accounting purposes and so on, keeping a sourcing record of what you spent and where. It also will allow you to create a complete inventory sheet, complete with a SKU number and so on, so you can keep track of your items however you like. It will also have locations, which I use, so you can create inventory locations that, say, oh, I'm using a bin system, or I'm using a rack system, or using tables or shelves or whatever you're using. And then it will also allow you to see your metrics, like when you sell something. So you'll be able to put a sales record in there, and everything will it will require some entry. I mean, that's just, the price of doing business. I mean, there's just almost no way around it. Even if you pulled everything down from eBay, you would still have to do some manual entry. But when you enter something, it will cascade through the sheets into other areas so that you won't have to keep entering it over and over and over. The objective here is to make it so you enter as little as possible, and you don't, the less you enter, the less mistakes you're going to make, guys. I've found the more you have to duplicate things, oh man, you're gonna screw up. You don't think you will, but you will, and you won't even catch it for a while. But I am doing some work on that. I've gotten closer to getting it done. It's in the works, so anyway. So that is coming. I promise. It's just been hard to find the time to do it lately. Brad says a spreadsheet for what? Well, Brad, you will see it here in a few moments. It's basically the same one I use. And I used to keep track of my business and so on. You have to keep track of your business somehow, right, guys? As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, last night I talked to Casey Paris, the rock star flipper. He does $250,000 a year plus reselling. And I would highly advise you guys check that video out. If you come to my channel, it should be like the most recent video. It's great. And he has a lot of good insight. He's put systems in place to scale his business up. And he does most of his business on eBay, guys, not Amazon. So he had, I want to say he has 1,800 listings on eBay, which is quite a few. So he's proof positive you can scale a business up. He's supporting himself and his fiance. I think his mother even works part-time with him. So check out that video if you get a chance. It's an awesome video. He's an awesome guy. He's got a great YouTube channel where he covers everything on that channel. I mean, just about anything you can think of you'd want to do, Casey's probably got a video for it. So check that out as well. All right, so let's see. A couple other questions are in here. Eric says, saw your show on with Rakin yesterday. I noticed no one go for the jeans near me. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you can get the price for them, Eric. So, and obviously brand and sizes and fits matter as well. Question, how do you properly measure men's ties, unfolded or as worn? I'm not going to be a good one to ask on that, Midwest, because I don't really sell many ties. I have sold them in the past, but I didn't really get into them. They are very long tail items for the most part. You're going to sit on them for a while, and there's nothing wrong with that. They don't take up much room. I mean, you can put 20 ties in a shoebox, and put them in bags if you want to keep them. And they're very easy to store. I mean, you could store 1,000 ties in a pretty small area, basically. And there's some great profit in them because people, I mean, you can find them really cheap sometimes for well under $1. But I'm not the one to ask on how to measure one. Maybe someone else can answer that in the chat. Mark said he stopped running sales, but ran one a day and seeing sales from it. Awesome. And the weekend's coming, guys. It's a perfect time to run a sale. I like to start sales on Friday. I don't know why. I just do. Let's see. Okay. So lots of comments in the chat, but if you guys got any other questions and so on, please feel free to put them in the chat. Just type the word question or 2 or 3 question marks in front of it, so I'll kind of see it and it won't go by me. I admit yesterday I was I couldn't keep up the chat and Rakin show. We had 200 viewers at one point, and that was at noon on a Wednesday. He told me, he said, it probably won't be a big turnout because it usually isn't. And it was a big turnout. And we had a great show for about an hour. Steve's an awesome guy. He's definitely one of my mentors or someone that I started watching videos from when I first started selling clothing. And if you don't know who Steve Rakin is, you need to, wake up. Because if you're a clothing reseller especially, you probably do know who he is. Okay. Hunlam says, what Levi's styles sell the best? Most of the ones I find sell for less than $10 before shipping. That's really low, Hunlam, and you're probably seeing some low offers for those. Most Levi's are going to sell for quite a bit more than that. 501s are obviously great. 505s I have a lot of luck with. 550s I actually have a lot of luck with. You can't go wrong with too many of those, honestly, but Levi's is just like anything else. Size and fit matter as well. So bigger sizes, certain fits are going to be better, but mainly sizes and the style number. All right, so what else we got here? Sorry, my iPad keeps going down here. Okay. We update on the trip. So I know I didn't give you guys any updates for a few days because, man, it was just impossible. We did 2 videos on the trip we took recently to the Raleigh area, but I wanted to talk about them in person so you guys could, ask any questions you had or any comments you had. I'd be interested in hearing those too. We had an awesome trip. We left on Sunday morning, right? Sunday morning?
Yes.
Yeah. We left on Sunday morning. We got up to the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill area, probably about 12 o'clock. Hit our first store, and we hit the GCF stores. It's Goodwill, but it's a slightly different company. It's called the Goodwill Community Foundation. And these stores, when we first walked in, we were not optimistic because you walk in the store, we realized pretty quickly they don't take debit cards or credit cards. They only take cash and checks.
We didn't realize that until we were at the cash register.
Right. We actually didn't realize that we were checking out, but there were big signs that said it. We just didn't notice them. There was signs everywhere, guys, for like all these different policies they had. It was very draconian. There was no music playing in the stores. So it was very quiet. It was like a library in there. You felt like you couldn't talk. It was just same level racks for the most part, and then shelves on the outer walls. So it was a very boring looking store to look at. There was no color. There was not, the signage was very just, nondescript and so on.
They had bins mixed in too.
They had bins mixed in each store. And the bins were, really cheap, like $1, for items, or even less actually. And yeah, it was not a great first impression. However, we found that, first of all, the prices were great. Jeans came out to be about $380 with tax. That's a good price. They had quite a few of them. I didn't find a lot of hard goods, books or games or electronics or things like that, because there just wasn't a lot. But we found great amount of jeans, and we realized pretty quickly that these stores probably weren't shopped as heavily as our Goodwills in the Charlotte area. So, we went to the first one, we went to the second one. We went to 5 stores the first day because they closed early. They closed like at 6 o'clock. This was Sunday, remember? And we didn't get there at 12. So we went about to 5 stores. And we pulled 104 pair of jeans in the first 5 stores. That's a good number, guys. If you can pull 20 jeans a store, you're doing great. And especially for that price. We already realized we were saving like $1. It works out to about $1.50 per jean that we were saving over what we pay here in Charlotte. So that's just money in your pocket. The next day, we said we're really going to hit it hard. We hit the Cary and Apex and Holly Springs stores, and we also hit the Raleigh Durham stores. And it was an awesome day. We hit 10 stores, I think. 10 stores. And we just went. And honestly, guys, I mean, we got 29 jeans in one store. We got 30 in another. We had some other bigger totals. We had some smaller totals too, but hardly anything was single digits. It was all double digits and up. So you really felt like going to each of these stores, you really could get a lot of inventory, and we did. And, I think I told the story last night on the show with Casey, but I'm going to tell it again. For those who may not have heard it, we realized pretty quickly that we were going to be able to set a record for amount of jeans. We try to buy 150 jeans a week minimum. And this was our second. And so this was like our weekly sourcing trip. We realized we blew through that. So we said, hey, let's get 300 because the total just kept coming in and coming in. So we got to a store, and it was the 9th store of the day. I was getting a little tired. We've been going all day since the morning. And we rang up, and sure enough, we were at 299 pair. 1 pair of jeans from our goal. Now, some of you might be saying, well, you're close enough. Some of you might say, why not go back and just find 1 more pair? But we looked through them all. And, and I looked at Karen, she looked at me, and we said, all right, we're going to go to 1 more store. And we went to a store that was kind of in a tougher area. And I was getting a little nervous because it was getting late and it was starting to get dark. This was not the kind of neighborhood that you probably wanted to be out in dark. And where the store was, there was kind of some shady businesses right around it, just in general. But the store was great. We didn't have a lot of money left. Remember we had to use cash. I'd hit the ATM twice during this trip. I actually exceeded my maximum withdrawal limit one day, so I had to flip money into my other account and pull it out. And we were able to get 16 more pair in that store, so we ended with what we thought was $315. But it turns out it was actually $325 because somewhere along the way, one of the stores had given us 10 free pair of jeans. I am not even sure which one it was, guys, but we got home and the big rack that's in the other room, if you saw the shows yesterday, you saw the 2 racks back there. We counted them. It was in those bags. We know they came from the stores, and yet our receipts only show 315, but we had 325. I feel bad about it, but I don't really know what to do about it. So maybe when we go back up there next time, we'll make a donation to the Goodwill up there. I don't know. We'll do something like that, kind of karma, I guess, right? So we got 325 pair of jeans. We spent over $1,000, which was a nice spend for us. And I now have jeans between what we had left from earlier last week, and this weekend. I've now got enough really I could list for 3 weeks, basically. The rest of this week and the next 2. So anyway, I just want to share that story. It was a great trip. We had an awesome time. We came home. We got home late Monday night. It was probably like 11 o'clock, because about 2.5 hours away where we were. But just a great sourcing trip, guys. And we will definitely go back up there. We made notes on each store so we know what to expect. And it just goes to show you guys, when you go to another area, if you go and you're ready and you commit and you have a goal in mind and you have the capital, you can pull some great numbers no matter what it is you're buying. And these stores, they didn't have a lot of great hard goods, but they did have great clothing. And there were some other clothing opportunities there too. We just weren't prepared to take advantage of it this trip. So maybe we will next time. Anyway, so that was a trip. All right, so any comments I don't think I missed any questions. But if I did, please leave it in the chat box. We got 41 viewers, 43 actually. Thank you for that, guys. Please hit the like button. Smash that like button down below if you're liking this content, and it lets me know I'm doing a good job, and I do appreciate it. So let's see. All right. So I guess with this many people in, it's probably a good time to go. I will show you the results. I have not shown you guys results since it might have been Thursday or Friday of last week. So we'll just assume that it's somewhere around in there. So let's get that up and running. Let me get my my sheet ready, and we'll do a screen share. There we go. All right, guys. So here's the screen share. Let's see, Friday 20th, 13th. So this would have been Friday. I'm just going to kind of quickly run through these. Great numbers. We photographed 25, listed 18, and sold 16 at $379. The next day, we did not get any photos done. We got 20 listed. We got 13 sold for $296. Then Saturday, while we were away, we spent $386 on 103 pair. We went to 5 stores. We sold 14 for $321. On Sunday, I think this was Sunday, or maybe this was Monday. This was Monday, I think. Yeah, sorry, I'm off a day. We bought 212 that day. That's the most we've ever bought in one day. We spent $816 that day. We went to 10 stores. So that's pretty good numbers, guys. That's 21 a store. That's great. We sold 13 for $315.52. The next day was Tuesday. We only got 8 listed. We kind of were playing catch up. We still sold 13 for $312.75. Then yesterday, we photoed 17, listed 14. We're starting to get back in the groove of it. We sold 9 for $213, and then you see where we're at today so far. So let me show you where we are at for the month. All right, so here's October. We are averaging 818 listings, which is good, but I'd like to be a lot higher than that, honestly. I would like to be up around 900. We have bought 605, which is the most we've bought in any month. We've spent $2,700, 260 photos, 284 listed in over 33 stores, and we've sold 214. That's as many as we sold last month, gang. So these are great numbers. We're averaging 6.9 per day, but that keeps going up as each day happens because it's divided by 31, this number rather. And look at this total, guys, 5109. We are basically at last month's sales already, and we're only 2/3 of the way through the month. So I think some of you other guys are having numbers like that too, just crazy numbers on the month. You know, couldn't be happier about it. So 2,033 net so far on jeans, 40% is still our net margin. And sell-through already this month is at 26. So we're gonna have a crazy sell-through of probably 40 to 45, which is just insane. And I'll show you a couple graphs here. It's always nice to see it graphically. I think here's our listings, which have flattened off a little bit here in the last few days because we just haven't got many done. Sell-through is tremendous. It's up around 1.25 probably, which is a great sell-through number. So we're selling through 1.25% of our inventory every day, which is just nuts. Amount sold, you can see, has just really been climbing, still climbing, pretty steep climb there. Listed is pretty good, but we need to catch up some more listings, get some more big numbers, like up in the 30s like we were. Sold per day is now up to about, this is probably like $260 per day gross. So another great number there as well. So that's the spreadsheet. For someone who was asking a moment ago, that's kind of what it looks like and what I've been working on for everyone. There's lots of tabs down here. I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but that's what it looks like. So, you know, great month, $5,100 in the bank already. You know, I'm loving it. October is great. I hope November's even better. All right, so that was our results so far. Hopefully that all made sense. Let me go back to our screen here. So yeah, we actually, you know, we are struggling to keep up with our sales, guys. I'll just give you a quick heads up on that. We looked at our averages earlier, and while we're listing about 9.5 pair per day, we're selling 6. Since we started this, so we're only gaining 3.5 listings per day. That's still, you know, 100 a month, which is not nothing, but to get up to 5,000, we've got to get a lot more. So I know Mark was talking earlier about a VA, and well, he may have already left the room, but, you know, we may have to hire outside help to help list. And we've been talking about what that would look like. I think there's great value there. We basically look at it as it adds value to our business, you know, because we cannot and photograph and source so much ourselves. There's only 2 people. And I know some of you guys are saying, well, I'm only one person. And you're right. I feel your pain. So we are definitely thinking we're going to find someone to help list, a listing assistant, if you will. We can send them the pictures. We can use InkFrog to give them access to the account so they can even do it when we're not online. And we can pay them. You know, and it's going to be some upfront cost for down the road profit because we're not going to see all that profit right away. But if we can get somebody who can, you know, pump in another 200, 300, 400 listings a month, that's going to allow us to grow really quickly. You know, and we'll still be listing and photographing as well, obviously. But then there could be times we could send them more depending on what their schedule is. But I think that that's really kind of where we're hitting a little bit of a bottleneck. And I can do more as well listing. I'm kind of the listing agent for our business. Right, Karin?
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm wearing a lot of hats right now, and I got a lot of irons in the fire, and I'm trying to just sort of kind of keep it all straight. And honestly, it's a lot to juggle. You know, it's just, and there's not one thing I'm doing that I feel like, oh, I could just quit doing that. I don't really feel that way at all. I mean, of course I could, but I think it would hurt my business overall, and it wouldn't fit in with my overall plan. So this is the thing, guys. This is the rule of thumb from what I understand. And I haven't hired anybody for this business really yet, so take this for what it's worth. You hire someone to do something that it would cost you more to do yourself than you're going to pay them. So if you figure that you're worth, say, $40 an hour in your business, and you've got to go do something that you could hire somebody and pay them $10 an hour or $12 an hour, you're losing money every hour you do that thing, whatever it is. And I would argue listing is one of those things, guys. Listing is one of those things that you're probably hurting your hourly rate when you're listing. You could even argue that's the same when photoing too, but I think photoing is a little trickier to teach to someone, plus they have to come to you to do it, whereas a listing assistant does not. There are ways to send them photographs and so on and give them access, limited access to your account, so they can list even from across the world, doesn't matter. Photographs, they can't do that because they have to be with the product, obviously. So that's what we're thinking about. And, you know, we ran some numbers on it, and I think the math shows that hiring someone to list is going to allow us to expand beyond where we're at now. And it's going to give us a little breathing room. So that's the direction we're going to move towards, and hopefully find somebody here in the next week or two. But there's a couple other things that have to happen first, but that's what we're thinking. I don't know. It's kind of exciting, right? To hire someone. It's a little scary too. Let's see what the chat room is saying. Let me just kind of look at this. Let's see. Some people talking about the spreadsheet. Mike says I go above and beyond with the inventory tracking. Whatever, Mike. Hire someone to photograph. You could king flip, but then they've got to come to your house or your business or your office. I mean, that's possible, but it's a little bit trickier. Let's see. Do you worry the assistant will learn your business and just take that info and go off on their own? No, I don't, Parrot Head. And here's why. Being in business for yourself is a lot of work. It sounds great and easy, but it isn't. And, you know, that's kind of like, well, does Walmart not going to hire someone because they're afraid someone's going to go start another Walmart? I mean, it's just not that simple. Of course, somebody can go start an eBay business, but if they're going to do that, whether they work for me or not, it's not going to be the determining factor. People know about eBay. They know about Amazon. It's not like I am, you know, suddenly teaching them something that no one else knows about, or it's well hidden secret. I just don't really worry about that. And if they're going to do that, they're going to do that. I'm going to hire somebody else. You know, I mean, you always can lose employees. That's just a reality of being in business, right? Paul says, I want to hire someone to do everything so I can just shop. Yeah, that might work, right? I use InkFrog. Jennifer says, my son starts the drafts with templates, depending on the type of items, and uploads and fixes the pictures. Then I finish listing and launch. It works out great and saves time. That's what I'm thinking, InkFrog. I've got some experience with it. I've got to get a little better with it, but yeah, for sure. I read something interesting, guys, about people in business for themselves. So last night I was looking up some tax info. This is what I do, just how I am. Anyway, in last year, the United States has about 325 million people, and something like 100 million people file tax returns, but only 9 million people said that they were self-employed. So think about that. So not even 1 out of 10 people who file tax returns say they're self-employed. It's not that high a percentage of people who are just going to go start a business because suddenly they realize, oh, it's this easy. Well, it's not that easy. So I don't really worry about that much. Geneva says, I sell a little of everything in the rural South. People don't understand that Miss Me jeans can't be $9.99, so I need to reach a larger market for those. Yeah, eBay is great for that. I mean, Miss Me will definitely go for more than $10. I think that you would have to have that steady source of inventory before hiring, King Flip says. We do. I mean, we do have a steady source. We have now 4 major areas we can pull from. I feel real confident we can pull 600 pair of jeans minimum a month out of those areas, and that's not counting anything else. And it's actually probably going to be higher than that. It's probably going to be more like 750 to 800. So I think that's a good start, and we don't have to hire someone full time. I mean, let's call it what it is here. We're talking about a part-time person, and so and we don't have to use them forever either. We don't have to keep using them forever. So let's see. You can hire 10 people. Check with your local chamber of commerce. They are paying for one of my staff people. Geneva says, oh, that's a great tip, Geneva. Thanks for that. So local chamber of commerce. There you go. Silver Hair Sacker says, I will list for you at $100 per hour. That's fine, but I'm going to require you to get 1,000 listings done in an hour. Is that doable for you? There are tons of stay-at-home moms that would like to make extra cash. Yep, I don't think, guys, I'm telling you, last year I toyed with this idea and I put an ad up on Craigslist for a few hours and got just inundated with people. It was crazy. I had to take the ad down. It was absolutely insane. Thrift School says, to be honest, I worked for a huge seller on Amazon and eBay, and I was a photographer and lister. I worked there for over a year and realized I could do it, so I took the knowledge and left. Yeah, but most people aren't going to thrift. I mean, you might have done that anyway. Maybe that was your first exposure to it. Maybe you thought about it before. Maybe you thought about some other way. Who knows? How would you pay them, Diana asked, as a paid employee? This person is probably going to be a 1099 contractor, Diana, and there's some rules about that. And I'm not a CPA or financial expert. I'll change that a little. But there are ways that you can use people as 1099 contractors and be within the law. I mean, that's important, to follow the laws around those. But I think that's the way to go. You definitely, if you bring on an employee, it brings on a whole lot more expense and headache, in my opinion. And I'm not saying I'll be opposed to that in the future, but I think to start with, this person is going to be very part-time, and they're going to have a lot of autonomy over how they do it and so on, which will, that lends credence to them being a 1099 employee is if they have a lot of say in when they work and exactly how they work and so on. So that's the plan for now as a contractor, basically. And I know some people are going to probably come out and say, well, you can't do this and contract. I get all that, but there are legitimate 1099 contractors, and you just have to follow the law in your state. So, seek professional advice, just like anything else. Some of you already need professional help, and I'm not talking about financial, if you know what I mean. All right, so Karin didn't even laugh. It wasn't funny.
Crickets.
What will you do if Goodwill starts raising their price on jeans? I am going to panic. No, I'm not going to panic. It would depend on how much they raise them for. They've already raised them since I started. If they do that, they do that. I can always source something else if jeans no longer become profitable. I'm confident now with what I've learned from jeans in this category. I can take that and apply that to, I don't know, really anything. I could apply it to any other category, especially the clothing. Or I can go off in a whole other direction, or I can go do some of that anyway. And there would still be jeans you could sell. It just wouldn't be all of them. I don't know if it would be worth looking through all of them if jeans were, if they were double what I pay for them, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't be worth looking through all of them, I don't think, to find those few home runs. But I could always go the bin route like Mike does and Mark does, and people like Nicole State, go to the bins and get stuff really super cheap and just accept a smaller profit per item. So, there's always ways, guys. If the market's going to change and evolve, and you just got to be prepared to deal with it. So, I'm not going to get too crazy upset about that. Geneva says, I pay mine as a contract employee, reduces the need for extra insurance. They still get a 1099. Yeah, there you go, right? Let's see. Geneva is giving professional help in the chat room.
Awesome.
King says, I think you can hit about 150K sales as an individual and maintain good profit margins after that glass ceiling. Yeah, I'd agree with that, King. I think you're right. I mean, what is that, about 11? That's about 12, just a little over 12,000 a month gross. I agree. We're kind of on track right now to do probably about 7,600 this month just in jeans. So I'd be happy with that total. I mean, that's a great start to the fall season. Anyway, what are some examples of what you pay for a pair of women's jeans? Paul Rhodes asks. Well, the jeans we just got in Raleigh were $380 or $383. They were around there. The tax rate was a little different between the counties or the areas we were in. Here in Charlotte, they're $499 plus tax. I think you can still make money at that price. If you go to the bins, you're going to get them for about a third of that. They're going to be like $1.30 to probably more like $1.50, $1.60 because it's by weight. You definitely can get some cheap jeans at the bins. I mean, I could go to the bins right now. How many could we get if we really went through the bins, you think, Karin?
If you went through the bins?
If we both did. She said, if you went through the bins.
Not a fan. Oh, I don't know. I only went that
30?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably pull 30 pair of jeans out of the bins.
It would take a lot of time. It would probably take 3 times the time.
Without breaking a sweat. And it would take longer, but they cost less. But they sell for less. So it's all these things, right? I mean, the bins are, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them, but I could do it if I had to. Let's see. I went to the Goodwill bins once and I had to leave or I would have been arrested. They were going crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds like an interesting story, Paul. I'm not sure what that's all about. But if you're going to get arrested sourcing, you probably need to examine your sourcing strategy.
Better call Saul.
Better call Saul. Yeah, it's a great show. So one other thing I want to talk about too, guys, just really quickly is, I don't know if you guys saw this email. eBay sent out an email about they're going to give you new tools to use for their APIs. So basically, it sounds like you're going to have new seller tools, and there's buyer tools too. There's going to be new seller tools, maybe more on par with what Amazon gives you. So third-party apps can use those tools and so on to increase your ability to sell, your tools that you can use. You'll hopefully have more of them that can integrate better with eBay. And that way you'll be able to hopefully increase your margins, become a better seller, all these things that you can do. Like repricing would be a cool one. For instance, if there was an app that worked really well with eBay's repricing, if you could do that, that would be pretty cool, especially when you get up a lot of listings. That's coming down the pike, so be on the lookout for that because that sounds like that's got some really cool opportunities. We'll have to see what it looks like, but I just wanted to mention it. King Flip says the bins are worth it. You can easily source $200 an hour gross. That sounds right. But as someone in this chat mentioned last week, they've been to the bins here in Charlotte, the one store we have, and they agreed they're bad. It's not a good store. It's completely disorganized. It's dirty, which makes you wonder about the state of the clothing. And the selection was not that great. It's been my impression. So might be a little tougher here, but still doable. Do you measure length and waist of each pair or just list the sizes on the jeans? No, I absolutely measure them, Diana, because that tag, I would say 1 out of maybe, 30 pair? The tag's wrong?
Oh gosh, at least.
Yeah, maybe 1 out of 25 to 30 pair, the tag is wrong. And sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's wrong because they were hemmed. But we take a measurement pick and we list the actual measurement in the title, and the item specifics and so on. So because that's a surefire way to get a return. When you put that the jeans are 38.32 and the person sends them back and they're 38.30, and they're clearly 30, and you're like, so they can't wear them. They're too short. So absolutely, you got to do measurements with jeans. Big believer in that. You don't have to go crazy, but you have to do some of them. Excuse me 1 second. Let's see here. We got a bunch of people are. All right. What are your listing impressions at for the month? Traffic stats. I can tell you that, Terry. That's not state secrets. Let me see. Hang on. They are. My listing impressions have been skyrocketing as of late. Now I've only got, how many listings we got up right now? Let's see, 890 listings. So not a huge number by any stretch. My listing impressions for the month are my current traffic over the last 3 days is 635,000. So hopefully that answers your question. Or thereabouts. Let's see. I've seen security guards call before that they get vicious over sneakers. Yeah, the bins, people get they push and shove a little bit sometimes, right, guys? Bins are nuts in Orlando, screaming, yelling, pushing, and rushes. What exactly are they screaming? Like, get out of my way. I saw it first. I don't know. What is that? What is your return rate? Oh, that's a great question. Let's see. Let me see here. I've got. Someone asked what my return rate was, and I'll just give you a kind of a ballpark figure here because I don't have the actual figure right in front of me. Let's see. That's today is October. In the last 2 months plus, I've had 19 returns, and that is on jean sales of 563. So 563 sold in that time frame basically, and 19 returns. What does that work out to? Somebody asked the rate. 19 divided by 563, 3.4%. So there you go. Is that specific enough for you? That's pretty specific, right? I think that's pretty good. 3.4% returns on jeans. I don't think that's bad at all. I mean, I think I'm doing a decent job with the measurements. Karin's doing a great job with the photos and getting that right. You're always going to have returns with jeans, and the number one reason is it just doesn't fit. And there can be all kinds of reasons for that, but you don't want to do anything that will make it more likely that the jeans won't fit someone who buys them. So you got to take good pictures, have accurate measurements, have the right item specifics in there, and you'll be fine. I mean, and you're still going to get returns. Don't get mad at it. It's just part of doing business. All right, let's see what else. Excuse me. Oh, got some dust or something. Some Goodwill dust. Mm-hmm. Wow, that came out of nowhere. What were the reasons? Eric says.
Didn't fit.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I got a little dust in my throat here. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully I'm better. The reasons are mainly don't fit, although I had one the other day that a lady said she did not agree with my inseam measurement. And I actually ended up letting her keep the jeans and refunding her because she was like, oh no, it wasn't inseam. I take it back. It was not inseam. It was not inseam. My mistake. It was actually a pair of Not Your Daughter's jeans. And what happens with Not Your Daughter's jeans in the thighs, sometimes the elastic will get crumpled, the stretch, and they'll get a little bit of, and it looks kind of like a little bit like an accordion. And she said that those were really bad in the thigh, so bad that she couldn't wear them out the house.
She said they were damaged in shipping.
They were damaged in shipping is the way she put it. Now, they probably weren't damaged in shipping, and I doubt it was as bad as she said, but I didn't have a picture of it in the listing, that part of the jean. So I didn't have anything to go on. So I'm like, well, if she returns them, I'm going to resell them maybe, or I might just defect them out. And she put her return reason as damaged, which kind of sucked. I was like, just put doesn't fit. It's fine. But I actually ended up letting her keep the jeans and said, please just donate them to somebody. Maybe they can help use them, and gave her money back. Because, I mean, she had perfect feedback and had been on eBay for years. So I don't think she was scamming me or anything like that. And if she did, she did. But I think it was just one of those things. Okay, let's see what else is there. Good Use Good says, man, that's nothing on returns. Try use electronics and PC parts. Yeah. Do you measure the thighs? Nope. That would normally be like a hip measurement. But sometimes we get asked. We had to do one of those today. Someone asked for a hip measurement. Joel says, I'm at 3.5 and I sell everything. Yeah, I think 3.5 is reasonable. And Geneva says, biggest reason is jeans pre-owned have been washed and often dried, so the dry clean, they may run smaller. Put that in your list, and they may have been pre-washed. Yeah, well, I put they're pre-owned. And people will ask sometimes about how are these jeans treated. I get that question occasionally from a buyer. They'll say, were these jeans washed a lot? Were they dried a lot? Did you keep them in, your grandma's closet? I don't know. All these kinds of weird questions, which I obviously don't know the answer to, right? Because I didn't own the jeans. And I just tell them, I say, look, they're pre-owned. They appear to have been washed, or they appear to be washed, and I would assume that they have. If I offer returns if you're not happy with them. That's all you can do. Prof, did you guys affix a tape measure on the table? We did not, King. It's her world. I'm just living in it.
The next table will have a fixed, actually in an L or a T. I think I would like that better. But for now, we switched to the metal yardstick, and I prefer that to the tape measure.
Okay. And there you have it. And I don't argue. But no, she's the one taking the vast majority of the photos. And that's what she likes. So, if that works for her, I think it's great. It's better than the tape measure because it doesn't lose its length. If the tape measure squunches up, you always got to pull it. That stays the same length, which is nice. But putting it on a table too could be useful as well. I can see benefit in that. And so can Carnes. Just on this table, we just haven't done it. I don't know. You can't count on buyer's feedback anymore since as a seller, you're not allowed to put negative feedback. Yeah, I know, Crafty. I mean, feedback on eBay has changed, guys. By the way, that's something to keep in mind. Feedback has become automated. So a lot of buyers, including me, or a lot of sellers, I just send feedback right after the sale because I don't want to be bothered to go in and put in feedback. And it's gotten kind of crappy. And buyers are doing the same thing for sellers. So in some cases, but so feedback is not as legit maybe as it used to be because people are just automating it. And I don't know. Do you make the buyer pay for the return or charge a restocking fee? They do have to pay shipping to ship back to me, Michelle, but not a restocking fee. I don't charge that. So as a buyer, Eric says, I was a buyer for years for sellers. So as a buyer, you don't know or even think the product comes from Goodwill. I know, right? That's the beauty of it. They think these are, I don't know what they think though. How can I be offering hundreds of pair of jeans, that I wore? That doesn't make sense. And so if anybody looks at my store, there's no way that they can say, oh, well, he must have worn all those or she must have worn all those, and that's why they'll know everything about them. That doesn't make sense. Parrothead says, Goodwill here, jeans are $7.99. Oh, yeah, that's a bit high, Parrothead. At $8, you've really got to trend towards the higher end jeans at that point, I think. The math doesn't really work out that well for bread and butter jeans. I mean, if you're buying for 8 and selling for 15, after fees and taxes, I mean, you're not making much money. So you'd have to get the ones that can sell for a bit higher, like 20 plus. Car and a spoken makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty much the way it is. Big difference between the 2 bin stores I go to in 2 different states as far as craziness, organization, and clean factor. I know, right? So, all right, guys. Well, listen, we're basically at the 1 hour mark, just a little before, but I think we're going to call it a wrap. So I appreciate and love that you guys came out today. Great crowd today. Over 40 people in the room. I mean, that's awesome. Do me one favor before you leave. Please hit the like button. It lets me know I did a good job. Smash that like button. And if you're watching this later, leave a comment or question. I'll be glad to answer it. And consider subscribing to the channel as well so you can get every video when it comes out. We should be back tomorrow with another update. We'll be ready for our weekend palooza. I don't know, whatever we're going to call it. That doesn't even make sense. But again, thank you guys for coming out. I love you guys in the community here. And of course, if you got any questions or anything, send them. I'll do my best to answer them. But you guys are a great resource for each other too. It's not just me. So I do appreciate it. All right, so I think that's going to do it, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Should be tomorrow afternoon, and I hope you have a great sales day. Take that attitude and go out and make your business better today than it was yesterday, and it'll be even better tomorrow. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. All right, guys, that's going to do it for now. So this is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.